Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. It's great to be in a great big room full of so many friends. Talking to Norman, he said, why don't you come up and speak a little bit about, I guess what I would call it as some of the wins that we've had as conservatives the last year and the last session in the legislature. And I attribute a lot of that to the folks like our team here at Family Voice and all of you who do have our backs, as was said by Attorney General Jackley. We sit down there in that fishbowl often in the House chamber, and things are tough sometimes, and it's great. Many times I've looked up over my shoulder and I see Norman and the folks from Family Voice sitting there, and it's great to know that somebody has your back. And so, you know, I'm not going to talk about TIFs tonight. I know a lot of you have been hearing in Rapid City, and one of the things we hear about with that analysis is the idea of but for, right? But for the TIF, this project wouldn't have happened, right? And I would say, but for the conservative leadership that we have in the House of Representatives and the help we get from people like Family Voice, there's a number of good things that have happened in the last year, the last couple of years, that never would have seen the light of day. But for the leadership that we've put forth as conservatives and with the backing of Family Voice. I just wanted to touch on a couple of them. As you guys are asked to give, as you guys are asked to sometimes step up and run, play a part in this, it makes a difference in what we can accomplish. Whether you look at the issue of eminent domain and our private property rights as South Dakotans, all these things affect families. And we turned back the Green New Deal and the carbon capture situation where people could take your land and use eminent domain. On the issue this last year of election integrity, whether it's defining a South Dakota resident or whether it's opening access to the voter file for South Dakotans who want to get active in elections. We got those bills through the State Affairs Committee and down onto the floor and got them a vote and turned some of them into law. These are things that are multi-year struggles that otherwise had, as I said, probably wouldn't have seen the light of day. We had a fight this year over library books, and to keep trashy things, frankly, whatever the word is, we're going to call it, away from little kids. And bills, as they do, and this bill being one of them, often have a bouncy path through the legislature, and that fight's not over. But it's good patriots who are backed by folks like Family Voice that fought that good fight, and that fight continues. On school choice, I brought HB 1020 this past year, and we had one of the biggest group of proponent testifiers I've ever seen on a bill. We packed that room, and the folks at Family Voice were instrumental in helping push that. We weren't successful. You've got to have the votes. We didn't get it through, but that fight continues. I strongly believe parents are the people who should control the education of their kids, and I think it's a fundamental issue for the future of our state and our country. Back in the 2024 session, Representative Soy brought a bill, as they had in a few other states, to say you've got to have age verification for pornographic sites. The bill died in 24. She brought it back. We got it through in 25. Never give up. This shouldn't have been difficult, but sometimes things are difficult. But we're going to do what we have to do to protect little kids in South Dakota. We had a fight over stopping the provision of cross-sex hormones to minors. Maybe you've heard about that. We saw that this was happening in some of the hospitals in South Dakota, and we stepped up to the plate. As they say, if you know it's right, have the fight. And we had a lot of opposition, but we pushed that issue. So on these and many other issues, bathroom privacy bills, we had that issue pushed this year. So, you know, legislating, codifying common sense. Boys use boys' bathrooms, girls use girls' bathrooms. But for Family Voice, but for conservatives, the man and the woman in the arena, as Grace said so well at the beginning, a lot of these things would never have seen the light of day. And it's often not the easy path to walk down on these issues, but it's the right path, and we're thankful for the folks at Family Voice for helping illuminate that path so we can follow it and do good things in Pierre. So thank you for listening, thank you for being here, and God bless South Dakota.